Agent Sarah Cooper is sitting on a Boeing 787, headed from New York to London. She's on her second cup of coffee and checks her watch, adjusting her seat as the plane starts its descent. When Sarah exits the plane, she heads straight to passport control. She hands over her American passport, which catches the officer's eye. "What brings you to London?" the officer asks. "Consulting for the embassy," she responds with a polite smile. The officer nods, stamps her passport, and Sarah continues through, grabbing a few British pounds from the ATM. She steps outside, catches a cab to her hotel, and checks in. Now, Sarah wasn't entirely honest with that customs officer. She isn't there for embassy work. In fact, Sarah isn't even a diplomat. She's an FBI special agent, and her mission is part of a covert operation. Her task? To support an investigation into a suspected financial crime ring with international connections. London is just one of the key hubs in the FBI's global network of investigations spanning across multiple continents. Unlike the CIA, which focuses on intelligence and espionage, the FBI's international presence is largely about law enforcement collaboration, tracking cybercrime, counterterrorism, and fighting organized crime. The FBI operates out of its illegal attaché officers, or Legats, based in embassies and consulates worldwide. These officers work closely with local law enforcement to bring American fugitives back to the US or help intercept international criminals impacting US citizens. Back at the hotel, Sarah unloads her bags and immediately gets to work. She's received thorough guidance on navigating London and has been trained to keep a low profile. For instance, she knows certain areas to avoid at night and the typical British customs to blend in seamlessly. Like all agents, Sarah is meticulous. Her devices are secured, her paperwork is hidden, and she keeps her room free from any identifying evidence. Even her cell phone is encrypted and stored safely. Once settled, Sarah takes the tube toward a discreet location in central London. She gets off at Oxford Circus and makes her way through the busy streets, eventually arriving at the US Embassy. At the entrance, she shows her credentials and receives a visitor's pass. She is buzzed through and directed to a secure area where other agents are waiting. Inside, she's greeted by her British contact, who briefs her on the local scene and brings her up to speed on the latest intel related to the financial crimes they are tracking. In these Legat offices, the FBI works hand in hand with local agencies to gather evidence, conduct joint operations, and share real-time intelligence. This cross-border cooperation has been essential in high-profile cases, from intercepting international drug traffickers to dismantling complex fraud schemes. In 2019, for instance, the FBI worked with London authorities to crack a major cybercriminal ring targeting US financial institutions, recovering millions of dollars in stolen assets. These types of collaborations showcase the FBI's reach and expertise beyond US borders. Back to Sarah. After a long briefing, she heads out to meet her team for an evening debrief at a secure location. This is no ordinary business trip. As she navigates the bustling city, she's well aware that the job she's here to do has far-reaching implications, and that her every move must be calculated. Back at the FBI's London Legat office, Sarah receives an urgent call. Tensions are high across Europe, with security concerns on the rise due to suspected data breaches targeting both public figures and major institutions. Recently, it was discovered that several top officials, including a well-known European chancellor, had experienced unauthorized access to their communications. The idea of American surveillance on foreign leaders is, of course, highly controversial, and German authorities have already described the notion as absolutely intolerable. But that's the domain of the NSA, often working quietly alongside US intelligence. The NSA's Special Collection Service, rumored to operate from nearly 100 US embassies worldwide, is known for gathering intelligence from the most sensitive targets. Meanwhile, Sarah's FBI team is handling a more focused mission, countering cyber threats on US assets abroad and assisting European agencies in tracking down a notorious cybercriminal group responsible for a recent ransomware attack. Sarah's division in Europe specializes in cyber forensics. Their aim? To dismantle networks of hackers and intercept potential threats targeting American interests. Unlike the NSA or CIA, the FBI's reach extends to cyber investigations and ensure legal, cross-border cooperation with host countries. The FBI's tools are powerful, with systems capable of tracing digital footprints across continents. However, rather than developing cyber weapons or backdoor access tools, Sarah's team focuses on forensic analysis and evidence collection to support global law enforcement efforts. This time, however, the mission is complex. One of the suspected cybercriminals has recently traveled to multiple European countries using the border-free access of the Schengen area, making tracking him down far more challenging. Fortunately, London's Legat office has connections across Europe and Agent Sarah is prepared. She quickly devises a strategy, coordinating with local authorities in multiple nations. The suspected hacker is believed to be carrying encrypted data on a small device, possibly a USB loaded with high-stakes information. If he reaches a safe zone without interception, the information could be sold on the black market, potentially exposing confidential US details. Agents like Sarah trained rigorously to prepare for such intense scenarios. FBI operatives undergo specialized cyber training in Quantico, where they learn to analyze, detect, and neutralize digital threats. Though Quantico is primarily known for FBI agent training, it also houses advanced technology labs equipped to simulate cyber attacks. Sarah has spent years in such labs, preparing for high-stakes missions. In her toolkit are state-of-the-art decryption tools and forensic software, enabling her to track digital trails others might overlook. After hours of strategizing, Sarah's team receives intel on the hacker's whereabouts. He's allegedly heading to a small town in Belgium, aiming to use a public internet cafe to upload sensitive data. Within moments, Sarah's team contacts Belgian authorities, setting up a joint operation to intercept the hacker before he reaches the internet cafe. Back in Europe, the FBI's cyber division operates in close collaboration with international partners. They conduct rigorous training to prepare agents for high-stake operations. In the US, advanced FBI facilities offer immersive environments where agents like Sarah learn essential skills, from basic defensive tactics to mastering counter-surveillance. Each training experience is designed to build resilience under pressure. Agents are prepared for scenarios they might face abroad, including mock interrogations, secure border crossing techniques, and the handling of classified materials. The FBI's Quantico training grounds are equipped with multiple high-tech labs and shooting ranges, driving courses, and mock urban settings where agents refine their skills. At Harvey Point in North Carolina, agents receive additional training for field operations that require specialized technical expertise. Though Harvey Point is known for its work on high-profile counter-terrorism operations, FBI cyber agents also train here, practicing their skills for navigating complex cyber investigations under real-world conditions. Sarah's training kicks in when she arrives at the airport in Belgium. Here, customs procedures can be strict, and seasoned cyber operatives know how to maintain a calm, clear demeanor. She's practiced these interactions countless times, knowing that maintaining her cover is essential. Following protocol, Sarah answers questions with concise responses, avoiding unnecessary details. Within moments, she's through security, confident that her training has prepared her for whatever the mission demands. Upon reaching Belgium, Sarah connects with the FBI's Brussels Legat office, where she and a small team coordinate with local Belgian cybersecurity experts. The suspect they're tracking is known for exploiting gaps in global communications infrastructure, and Sarah's team is prepared to intercept him. They've narrowed down his location to a hotel near Brussels' center, where he's suspected to be accessing public Wi-Fi to upload encrypted data. This operation, part of an FBI international cyber initiative, highlights the Bureau's commitment to countering global cybercrime that impacts American interests. Later, as Sarah and her team set up a surveillance operation, they receive unexpected news. A second suspect may be en route to Brussels as well, complicating the mission. With both suspects potentially in the same location, there's a high risk that one might alert the other. Sarah decides to lead the operation from a nearby command post, staying connected to agents on the ground. She's equipped with the latest FBI-issued secure communications devices, allowing her to monitor developments in real time. In cases like these, where complex logistics and stealth are crucial, the FBI's extensive training on digital forensics and remote monitoring comes into play. The FBI's global cyber operations often rely on partnerships with institutions like Europol, with which the Bureau shares intelligence for combating cyber threats across the continent. This time, however, it's a solo mission coordinated solely through the FBI's Legat channels due to the high sensitivity of the case. As the night progresses, Sarah's team intercepts one of the suspects leaving the hotel. Equipped with field-grade cybersecurity tools, they manage to access the suspect's mobile device through remote interception, allowing them to gather preliminary data on his operations. What they find is chilling. Evidence points to an encrypted file potentially containing classified data, likely stolen from a recent cyber intrusion in the US. Sarah directs her team to initiate a low-profile arrest, preventing any public disruption. Once in custody, the suspect is transported to a secure facility for questioning. During the interrogation, the suspect reveals that he's part of a larger network involved in espionage and corporate data theft, targeting American companies with proprietary technologies. It's a major breakthrough for the FBI, which can now extend its investigation into this organization, tracking its operations across multiple countries. Back at Quantico, Sarah's work is analyzed in a debriefing session. The case highlights the FBI's extensive international reach in fighting cybercrime. Unlike other agencies, which often operate with a focus on intelligence gathering, the FBI's primary goal is law enforcement. The Bureau has an obligation to gather evidence that can lead to prosecutable cases while upholding the law in each country it operates in. Meanwhile, facilities like Pine Gap, a joint US-Australian intelligence base, continue to support US intelligence gathering globally. Operated by agencies like the NSA, Pine Gap intercepts vast amounts of communications from across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. For Sarah, Pine Gap represents a different branch of American intelligence, one dedicated to monitoring strategic data on a grand scale. Unlike the FBI, which directly engages in criminal investigations, Pine Gap's operations contribute to defense and intelligence activities, assisting partners like the CIA in counter-terrorism missions. As Sarah's mission in Belgium concludes, her next assignment awaits. She prepares to return to London for further training and debriefing, knowing that new threats constantly emerge in the cyber landscape. For FBI agents like her, this relentless pursuit of justice defines their work, driving them to safeguard American interests against sophisticated cyber criminals worldwide. Impressed? Well, this is the experience of an average FBI agent, but the agency has done much more, and an example of this is Operation Trojan Shield. On June 8, 2021, the FBI concluded Operation Trojan Shield, a massive 3-year covert sting that placed compromised encrypted phones into the hands of criminal organizations worldwide. In a complex operation involving partnerships with law enforcement agencies like the Australian Federal Police and Europol, the FBI managed to sell thousands of customized encrypted phones, all designed with a backdoor that allowed the Bureau to monitor criminal communications. By the time the operation was publicly disclosed, the FBI and its partners had successfully accessed over 27 million messages, resulting in more than 800 arrests and thousands of drug, weapon, and cash seizures across 16 countries. Operation Trojan Shield started after looking at Phantom Secure, a company that sold encrypted phones to groups like the Sinaloa cartel. Phantom Secure's tools let these companies avoid conventional law enforcement monitoring, therefore making it difficult for agencies to access their network. The DOJ broke Phantom Secure in 2017, therefore creating a void in the market for safe communication tools among criminal organizations. Taking advantage of this chance, the FBI established Anom, a front company selling encrypted phones like those past given by Phantom Secure, working with a confidential informant from Phantom Secure. The plan of this new operation revolved around using well-known criminal characters to endorse the devices as reliable and safe within criminal networks. However, the FBI faced significant challenges in marketing Anom as a credible underground brand that criminal organizations would trust. They carefully crafted a marketing strategy, encouraging influential crime figures to endorse Anom, giving it an air of legitimacy. Additionally, to prevent non-criminals such as journalists, human rights activists, and business people from buying these phones, the FBI controlled distribution, making the devices available exclusively by invitation through select criminal networks. Only those with connections or reputable status within criminal circles could access Anom, adding an exclusivity that boosted its appeal as a secure communication tool among criminal organizations. The FBI and Australian Federal Police went a step further by building a backdoor into the Anom phones, which enabled them to capture every message, call, photo, and video from users without detection. Working within a mutual assistance legal treaty, they also arranged for the Anom servers to be hosted in a third country, allowing the interception of communications without violating US laws on domestic surveillance. This third-party hosting helped avoid legal constraints in the US while providing access to a vast array of criminal communications flowing through the Anom network. The scope of Operation Trojan Shield was staggering. Between 2018 and 2021, Anom sold over 12,000 phones to criminal organizations in more than 100 countries. The FBI monitored conversations in real time, exposing the disrupting and wide array of illicit activities. This surveillance led to the seizure of 8 tons of cocaine, 250 firearms, over $48 million in cash, and the dismantling of more than 50 drug labs. The operation effectively halted the operations of major criminal networks, including the Italian mafia, Albanian organized crime groups, outlaw biker gangs, and international drug and arms smuggling rings.